Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters and Marconic multidimensional energy teacher and practitioner. This month has all been about an abundance mindset. And yes, I am talking about money this time, not just an abundance of everything that you want in your life. Specifically, we are focusing on money. And I talked about fears of lack and where they come from and asking you to kind of do an archaeological dig to see, is it my parents? Is it something somebody said? Maybe it's a past life I don't remember, or maybe I do. And then I asked you to honor those fears, to embrace them, because the more we resist, the more it persists, right? And then I asked you to look at where your money comes from. What is the source of your money? Because it doesn't have to be just your job, to open your mind to further possibilities. And then today I'm talking about opening yourself up to abundance. You can do this in so many different ways. If you know what your fears are and where they come from, sometimes you can just let them go immediately. Because when my dad was, I realized his belief was he had to work hard for his money. And it wasn't my belief, but I had kind of adopted it. So I was working hard for my money. And I was going, oh, wait a minute. That's his belief. That's not mine. Oh. And I was like, okay, thanks, Dad. Thank you. I didn't need to resist that fear anymore because it wasn't really my fear. I had only adopted it, but it wasn't a core value for me. So I was like, okay, Dad, I understand where you came from. I understand why I got that little negative voice saying, be careful, be careful, be careful. Because that was him. That was, you must work hard. Don't slack off. Be there on time. And yeah, I liked being a good employee. So it wasn't that I changed that so much as I realized that I could have a little more fun while I was working. I didn't need to be nose to the grindstone all the time. And that was when I got other types of jobs during my job. I ended up being a facilities person and I got to do some organizing, and I love both of those things. So it was an addition to what I was doing, and I worked a little harder, but it was fun. And I realized that my abundance, I got a little raise for doing it and everything, that it was something that I had opened myself up to because I ended up realizing that I didn't have to have that fear that I was living with because it was my dad's. So I let that go. So that's why I wanted to go over those things first. So you might be able to realize, oh, those fears aren't mine. And then all of a sudden, you'll be opening yourself up to abundance because there'll be less and less things that you're dealing with that might be a limiting belief or a fear that you're holding on to. You may feel that your family had no money, so therefore you can't. Or maybe they'll treat you differently if you do get successful. But when you're opening yourself up to abundance, those are things that you need to let go of, obviously. And you can do that by simply holding your family with love, by putting them in a bubble and holding them with love and allowing yourself to be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? You may need to work to open yourself up with a life coach, which is something that I do, and I do have a Change Your Money Karma 2-day VIP day, which is just you and me. And we go through so many things, including the archaeological dig of where it comes from and looking at some of those fears and shifting some of those. And I've had huge results from that because I see when people let go of things, whether you do it with me or on your own or with someone else, it makes a huge difference and things will start popping up. So if you open yourself up, you're going to say, okay, I saw those fears. I see that I was really worried about it. So I was kind of resisting moving beyond it because nothing was changing. If things were changing and money was getting easier, then, I think I would have a better job, better outcome. When you look at your reality and you say, I don't have enough money to pay bills, or you say, I have enough money to pay bills, but nothing else happens. I don't have any extra money. Or maybe you say, I save for a rainy day. And then the rainy day always happens. So then the savings you had, you felt good you had it when the rainy day showed up, when the car had the extra problem, when you had a dental issue, when the children needed something that you didn't realize they were going to need, or school fees went up or whatever it may be, that rainy day happened. So therefore, you were saving in your mind for a rainy day and it happened. So that was a fear that there was going to be something coming up that you couldn't pay for. If you picture having an abundance of money, whatever that means to you, it doesn't have to be a set amount. It can be the feeling that you have more than enough. That what do you want to do with money? Do you want to pay for your children's schooling? Do you want to travel, maybe big travel once a year or every other year? Go wild. What is it that you want money for? That you need to shift your abundance mindset for? Because knowing you deserve it and that you're worthy of having money is a huge one of those fears that I didn't actually bring up in this because you may have already shown up with this going, I don't feel I deserve it. But I'm here to tell you that you do. You just need to see why you think you don't deserve it. And that is looking for where that comes from. Why? And if somebody else asks you why, you're going to get defensive. But if you ask yourself, why do I have that fear? Where does it come from? What do I need to do to change it? You're going to find that those are the questions that a life coach is going to ask you. Who do you need to be to shift to be able to have what you want and to open yourself up to having more money, more fun in your life, more security, which is what money is to a lot of people. Money is just a form of exchange, but we make it important because we want to amass it sometimes. To some people, having 5,000 in the bank is huge, and that makes them feel safe and they're fine. That's all they need. Other people want 20 or 30,000 or 100,000 or millions because they have that fear of losing it. And some people are great at amassing it and then they lose it really fast because they spend it unwisely or things come up that they didn't realize were going to come up or whatever it may be. It's just a form of exchange. But people make it into such a large and important item when you have that money issue where you're looking at it going, I can't pay my bills. I'm going to be on the street. My car is a hunk of junk. I need to get it fixed, which will cost $3,000, or I could get another car because I just paid $1,000 for it. Not for the car, but maybe for something else that had to be fixed. And it's at that stage where you go, do I keep it or do I get rid of it? Have I saved for a car? No, I'm going to have to put it on lease. I have to pay every month again. I just paid it off and now I'm going to have to do it again. So, whatever it is, to open yourself up to abundance means to allow those things to come up, to kind of water off the duck's back, be aware of what happens and what your patterns are with how you deal with money. Look at them. Be absolutely honest with yourself. And sometimes you're doing great, but the fear comes up enough where you're looking at your spouse and your spouse is the one having all these issues. And you're going, really? I was doing great. I was saving money and you're spending it because you had something come up or you want to buy something. That lack is still there for you. The undeserving because you can't keep it. So you're giving it to your spouse maybe for a brand new whatever toy that the person wants or an issue that comes up. Maybe it's medical and it's not a toy or dental or something, but it's not you that's creating this issue. It's your spouse. And you're going, "Oh, I was doing so well saving money. And now something came up." It wouldn't come up like that unless you felt that you didn't deserve to have this buffer that you may feel you need. Where do you need? How much do you need? What does it need to look like for you to feel secure? For you to feel like you have an abundance mindset. Abundance is just more than enough. An abundance is a large amount that makes you feel good and you really don't worry about it anymore once you have an abundance mindset. It's something you know there will always be more than enough for you, whatever you want to do and whatever it looks like. And it doesn't mean you have $1 million in the bank. It means that money always flows to you when you need it. It always is there. It comes in miraculous ways. It comes in weird ways sometimes. And it comes in ways that could be a letter in the mail. Maybe you won the Publishers Clearinghouse and they show up your door. The lottery could have happened. It could be something that is weird and it's 1,000,000 to one shot or 3,000,000 to one shot, or it could be something that's as simple as somebody walking by and dropping a 20 and you see it later and all of a sudden you have a 20 in your hand going, "Well, I didn't see who dropped this. Where did this come from?" And you're going, "Wow, I didn't expect that. But actually, I was going to go out and buy some lunch and I didn't have cash with me." Great. Or maybe you hand that to a homeless person because you found it on the street and you said, "Hey, good, this was free money. Now I can give this away." And you feel good about it because you didn't use it for yourself, perhaps. But when you open yourself up to abundance, it flows in many ways, in ways you can't even imagine. So allow yourself to have it show up. Allow yourself to listen and ask. If you ask for abundance and you say, "How can I work on this? Show me the way." Maybe you've done that already, and maybe that's why you've been listening to these videos, because you need someone to give you a few words of wisdom that you go, "Yes." Sometimes you hear somebody say something 20, 30 times, or maybe 20, 30 different people say the same thing, and you don't hear it. Or you go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then all of a sudden, you read it in a book. You even see it on a commercial on TV. Or somebody says it just slightly differently. And all of a sudden, it clicks. You go, "Oh, I got it. Oh my God. I've heard this before, haven't I?" Oh, geez, like from everybody. But I get it now. I get that I can open myself up. I can have this abundance. That fear I thought I had isn't really there. It's wow. Okay, then. Focus on how you want your life to be. Focus on the joy that you can have, that you can choose to have. It doesn't have to be part of this abundance mindset. The point is that if you focus on what you do want, what you can have, what you deserve, and you realize you do deserve every wonderful thing, then the things will start falling into place. And sometimes the teachers will come. We need somebody to show us how. Maybe out of the blue, you'll get this weird email that'll say, "Hey, you want to learn how to deal with money? Come to me." And you'll go, "What? I just listened to that YouTube video and all of a sudden I have this opportunity that is this real? I need to look this person up." And maybe you look them up and they have a website and they seem real and they have people that are give testimonies for them about how good they are, what they've learned. And you're just going, wow, synchronicity. This happened because I opened myself up and I was ready for my teacher. Know that you can and you do deserve, and you will, if you're willing to step into that abundance mindset, you can have it. And there's only one more thing you need to do to have it. And I'm going to talk about that next week. Thank you for listening today. I'm Carol DeChaine. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and, of course, click on the bell notification if you'd like to know the next time that a video is posted. And if you'd like to know more about me, about working with me as a psychic, a life coach, or Marconic's multidimensional energy, by all means, check out my website at connect2joy.com. That's connect the number 2 joy.com. And also, I have a podcast under the same name, which you can find on Stitcher, iHeart, Pandora, wherever you listen. More than likely, it's been approved and it's there, as well as the fact that you can also look on my website for the podcast and all sorts of other information and reach out to me for a free consultation if you are interested and don't know if we're a good match or not. Until next week, I'm going to wrap up the Abundance Mindset Month, and hopefully you will have shifted even a teeny tiny little percent in the way that you view abundance.